Yeah, a prime example is like an IoT lock on your house. Everyone instantly goes, oh my gosh, why would I have an IoT lock? Someone could break into my house. The odds are probably very rare that someone's actually going to use the IoT technology to break in your house. It's likely they'll just kick your door in or knock your window out. For most purposes, I do not believe they're putting themselves at any unnecessary risk. But it all comes down to, what's your comfort level as an individual? Because mainly with most IoT technologies, there's the risk of privacy or loss of privacy. The devices record information, or they have certain types of piece of data, or you have a camera in your house. Obviously, the risk is related to privacy. So often we have to make determinations as personal, what level of risk or what level of risk am I willing to take. But generally, in spite of all of the fears on IoT, I don't think it's that big of a risk. We always have to kind of measure that risk. In the talk that I do here, I talk about the little Bluetooth low energy dongles you hang on your keys, so when you lose your keys, how you find those. So I did a research project on that, and I talk about one of them out of the 4 that I looked at, where I can actually identify it in the audience with just my cell phone, and then I can connect to it. I can pull the tracker ID off of it, and I can also set off the alarm on the device remotely. So now I can identify where you're at. The biggest part of the vulnerability was the web cloud functionality. The vendor fixed it. Everything I talk about, the vendors fixed. But before they had fixed it, I could take that tracker ID that I pulled off that, now that I've identified who you are by face, by you trying to figure out how to shut your alarm off, I could take that tracker ID, post it up on the internet, and get GPS data without authenticating. So then instantly it becomes a tracking device where I can continue to track you if I wanted to. And that brings back an interesting question on risk, because you first hear that, you go, oh my gosh, that's like really bad. But then you start thinking about it. What's the odds of somebody doing that? What's the odds of somebody wanting to do that? If you're just a common person like me or you guys, well, I'm assuming you're common because you're not, you're not a politician, you're not a movie star, you're not somebody that people are thinking about or wanting to know about. So in that case there, the odds are pretty low, the risk is pretty low that somebody's going to use that technology like that to continue to track you. But if you have to be a high-risk person, then the whole risk model changes, and you need to think about it. Is the convenience worth the potential security implications of somebody being able to get my GPS coordinates? The first thing you want to find out is, can I patch this thing if there's a vulnerability? And if the answer is no, then don't buy that product. Because that's going to be, obviously it's going to be a big issue. And then it comes into implementation. If you implement, I wouldn't say all the technologies, but a number of the technologies in the way they were meant to be implemented, that'll also keep the security, maybe not perfect in every case, but at a reasonable level, versus trying to take a technology and use it outside of its original mission, which causes a problem. The other thing is segmentation. Obviously, even in your house or whether it's industry, being able to go ahead and implement this IoT technology and isolate it off the other core pieces of your network. I have my Wi-Fi at my home, and then you can set up another Wi-Fi and connect them through so that neither one of them can talk to each other, but one of them contains your home network with your laptop, desktop, all those core pieces, and the other one would contain the IoT technology. You segment it off. I think education is important. I think we need to, and Unfortunately, the stuff we talk about at these conferences doesn't necessarily always get to the masses. And when it does get to the masses, it's all often scary stuff. But it's not all scary. It's not all doom and gloom. I talk about all these vulnerabilities and everyone goes, oh my gosh, it's horrible, we can't do IoT. But the thing is those are all fixed. Most of those are fixed. You know, we identify these vulnerabilities as researchers, as, you know, security professionals. We find stuff like this all the time. But we work with vendors. The vendors get the problems fixed. Now what we've done, we've done several things. One, we've grown our knowledge about the potential type of vulnerabilities so we can easily be looking for those better. Second, we've helped the vendor secure their product. In the end, it makes for a better product that everyone can use. So.